Broadcasting from Meredith Hall Studios, you're listening to Covering the Field Sports Show, featuring sports analysts Big Rich Martin, Rockin, Ronnie McKinnon, Gator Gates. And now here's your host, Joe the Answer Ellison.
Welcome to the show, everyone. We are broadcasting live from the Capitol Barbershop in Carson City. My first guest is football expert Big Richard Martin.
Well, Joe, it's great to be here at the Capitol Barbershop, the oldest barbershop in Carson City. Is that right, Tom? Or is that Nevada, or is that the world? Let's just say the world. It's the oldest barbershop, but you are going to get the best. You are going to get the best haircut here for sure. Great atmosphere. Great to be here. A lot of sports fans, and it's also great to have a great barbecue today. They're smoking some chicken and some corn out there, and it's great to be here. It's a great atmosphere to start off the football season.
Yeah, and a few adult beverages also, I noticed.
Yes, there is.
It's a little different kind of show for us this week.
Yeah, we're definitely having a good time.
All right. Big Rich, let's start in the National Football League with the news on Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshawn Watson.
Well, finally, Massage Watson finally got his 11-game suspension, and I think it's good that we can get this finally behind us and we can start talking football. And it was also noted that he cannot go to any massage therapist as part of this penalty. He has to have it approved by the team. So even if he's in Hawaii or wherever, it has to be approved by the Cleveland Browns to get a massage.
Well, that's a good start. He also got fined $5 million, the largest player fine in NFL history. And he's going to have to undergo evaluation and mental health treatment.
Yes, but we won't know much about that because of the HIPAA violations, and protects him with his medical treatment, and so we won't hear much about that unless he violates it. So we won't hear much about it, and I'm glad we can finally move forward and talk football and not about massage therapists.
Well, but there were 24 women accusing him of sexual misconduct.
Absolutely.
So,
but let's move forward,
yes.
And I'm glad that we can get off this story and start talking about football.
Oh, but what about Calvin Ridley getting 1 year for betting $1,500 on 6 parlay bets, which
right.
He actually lost all of them,
I
like
know.
he had inside information.
He must have been looking at my ticket because I've lost most of my parlays also. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
He gets $11 million in a loss.
Yeah.
For those $1,500 he bet.
Right, and so as you can see, that they're taking sports gambling more seriously than accusations of sexual assault.
Yes. Yeah. But he says he's innocent, so Watson,
and I worked in prison, and there was 6,000 inmates that I worked with were also innocent.
Yes,
so
you can't get on the field with the layaway plan,
right.
Obviously. Ironically, his first game back is December 4th at Houston, where he displayed his egregious behavior as a sexual predator. Don't you find that kind of odd?
I do, and I think that they'll have great security to keep him away from all the massage therapists that are in the Houston stadium.
Yeah. He can play in the preseason, but he will not. And last week he didn't look that good anyway.
Yeah, he didn't have a good game at all. I thought that maybe he would, considering he's going to have a shortened season, we knew, and so he definitely tanked it. But the Cleveland Browns did win, so
yes,
it was good for them.
And they did lose their center Nick Harris for the season, so not good there either.
Right.
And speaking of injuries, what happened to New York Jets quarterback Zach Wilson in his first preseason game?
Right, he did have a right knee injury. It was a cartilage tear. He had surgery on it, and he is very questionable if he is going to start week 1. And so head coach Robert Saleh said that he is looking forward to him probably starting. So it's very questionable, but Joe Flacco is going to be starting for him. So that's going to go with our first question, sink or swim for everybody out here. Zach Wilson, what college did he go to? Anybody know? BYU. And BYU are called the what? Brigham Young Cougars, right? So we're going to give you a Cougar question. Zach Wilson, quarterback. Sink or swim, Joe, the answer. Was he accused of having an affair on social media with his mom's best friend?
I didn't hear anything about that. So I'm going to say sink on that one. It seems kind of unusual for that to happen.
Anybody else have a question? You think that Zach Wilson had an affair with his mom's best friend? Okay, so hey, Tom is also involved with this, also on social media. But You're going to say yeah because you think. Because he's a man. Okay. So he's a man. He's a pig. Whatever. All right. So mostly the BYU people are very religious and very upstanding citizens. But on social media, his girlfriend did post on Instagram that he had an affair with his mom's best friend. So that is a swim.
Oh, wow. Okay. There's a story.
There's a start. And how did my beautiful fiance get that right? I don't know. I don't know how that happened. Anyway, second question. Joe Flacco is his sink or swim. Joe Flacco has not thrown a touchdown pass since 2017.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not a touchdown pass. Hasn't won as a starter a football game since 2017.
Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure he has won a game as a starter. He played in the preseason last year, and he won. Yeah, he won at least one game last year, and a couple games the year before that.
Regular season game.
He bets on preseason.
Yeah, Joe does bet on preseason, and he still has all the stats.
Regular season, I'm leaning. I can't remember him winning a game in a while, but I'm going to say he sinks on that one.
Swim. He did win 2019 with the Broncos, but do you know how many winning seasons he's had since 2013?
I'm going to guess 0, I guess.
He had two with the Ravens, and then he got replaced in 2018. So not a good track record for him. He's going to be backing up Zach Wilson, so make sure if you make your bets on the Jets, make sure you know that most likely Zach Wilson is not playing. He's definitely missing his whole preseason, getting his reps in, so I think that's going to be another shaky start for the Gang Green.
Yeah. So we'll encourage anyone from the audience to ask us trivia questions, and it would certainly help if they know the answers to them, so we could actually know if we're right or wrong. But anyway, let's move on. So what is Tampa Bay's Tom Brady doing, and where?
Yeah, that's the big question. He's like Sasquatch. He's missing. So, I mean, we don't know. He hasn't been seen or heard, and we don't know when he's going to return. They know he'll be back for the regular season, though.
Yes. He's just off for 10 days. It's not like he's going to retire or anything. I've heard some outrageous predictions on that. That's not going to happen.
I think Tom's earned the opportunity to do what he wants to do, so we're going to go ahead and go with that.
Absolutely. So what's the story on Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford?
He has a sore elbow, as is being told by Coach Maffei, saying that it's kind of close to what a pitcher would have, throwing multiple pitches. But he has had a long career. He's thrown a lot of passes in a career, so I see him coming back. He says he feels good, and I think he'll be playing. I think every quarterback probably has a sore arm or elbow, throwing as many passes as you do throughout your career. Yeah,
when he says his elbow feels good, that actually has me slightly worried. I would hope he'd say my elbow feels terrific, fantastic. Good is just, okay to me. He's definitely feeling some pain down there.
He's feeling pain, but I'm telling you right now, he's going to be great for the Rams this year. They're going to be awesome.
Which leads me to my trivia question. There were 2 players who tied for the league lead in interceptions last year. Who threw the most interceptions, and if possible, how many did they throw?
Ooh.
Pretty tough.
I'm going to say it had to be somebody. I'm going to go with Zach Wilson. I know he threw at least double digits. I know he threw more interceptions than touchdowns last year, so I'll say Zach Wilson in a double digit, probably about 12.
That was not a bad guess. Believe it or not, Matthew Stafford is one of those, and Trevor Lawrence, no surprise, is the other.
Okay.
So Stafford, as great a season as he had, winning a Super Bowl, also had terrible stats as far as interceptions.
Yeah, that is. But he does. Whoever throws the least amount of interceptions is a quarterback. What do they get for that? Nothing. And Matt Stafford has a nice Super Bowl ring right now that he'll be presented on Week 1.
Yes, that was 17 interceptions they both threw. That's quite a few. But, had Josh Allen been the quarterback, or Aaron Rodgers, or whoever, would they have also won the Super Bowl anyway?
Right.
That's the question many people are asking. How good actually is Matthew?
You're telling me that the Denver Broncos need to throw more interceptions to win a Super Bowl. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm just saying a lot of quarterbacks could win the Super Bowl with the LA Rams last year.
That's true. He has quite a Cooper Kupp and everybody else, man. He's got a great offense for sure.
It's an amazing system. So is there an update on Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow?
Yeah, he had his epidectomy. How do you say that? Appendectomy.
Appendectomy. Yeah.
Appendectomy, and he has back in practice. He doesn't feel as strong as he would be normally during this part of the preseason, but he does feel good, and he'd be ready to go week 1.
Yeah, his appendix actually ruptured. It's
Right.
not the usual kind of appendicitis.
Right, he did have a rupture.
How is the battle in Seattle for starting quarterback shaping up?
Well, Drew Lock has COVID, so we didn't get to see him last night. And our football analyst, Kendra is not here, and she also has COVID. I mean, that might be a coincidence. I mean, but they haven't had any pictures of them seen together, right? I mean, or been together. Maybe that might have been it. But we're going to go ahead and go with that he is definitely not playing this week under COVID protocol. But Geno Smith looked real well.
Yeah, he looked like the front runner anyway,
Right.
in the first place.
He is definitely the best backup quarterback in football.
Oh, wow, that's saying a lot.
All right, but I wouldn't want him as a starter.
Okay. What do we know about Aaron Rodgers and his experiences with the hallucinogenic drug ayahuasca?
Not really familiar with that, but is it the same thing that the baseball player took down there for San Diego? I mean, didn't he have a PED problem there, Tatis? I mean, maybe there was in Peru testing some hallucination drugs or something.
This is a little different. No, he went down to Peru to find himself, I guess, in this psychedelic drink that he's having.
Right. And then he came back and got a $50 million contract, and now they can't afford any receivers on Green Bay, so they're running with the skeleton crew at the receiver corps.
Yeah.
He had a nice little rant about
he's
his receivers. He's not feeling it from his receivers, and they're definitely not feeling his verbal outbursts that he puts on media all the time.
Well, he's challenging them right now. I kind of like it, especially the rookies.
Okay.
They did drop some passes in that preseason game.
Okay.
So
we'll see how it works out for him this year.
Yeah. Well, Rodgers won't be suspended for his drug use, by the way.
Well, okay.
It's not testable, apparently.
Yeah. So
it's hallucinogens. It's not PEDs.
Okay. Maybe you should have gave Fernando Tatis should have took some of that drugs instead of the stuff he was taking for his ringworm.
Yeah, we're going to get into that later.
All right.
With Rockin, Ronnie. Big Rich, every team played in an exhibition game last week. Did you have any observations?
Definitely. What about Kenny Pickett? I mean, I thought that he was the front runner. I mean, they're already yelling Kenny in Pittsburgh, and Mitch Trubisky better not even slip up a little bit because that kid looked pretty good.
Right.
I also like the kid in Tennessee.
Malik
Willis, yeah, from Liberty. He had an outstanding game. He had a little Patrick Mahomes type of pass, sidearm pass, and ran for a touchdown. It looks like Earl Campbell playing quarterback out there, big guy, and I think it's going to be a big upside for Tennessee this year for them. Yeah,
but if he wants to make head coach Mike Vrabel happy, he needs to throw the ball more and not run as much.
Okay, yeah, because you're not going to make it that long in the NFL, as you know.
So he did get benched after scoring a touchdown, but he did look spectacular.
I thought he did too.
Yeah. So my picks went 4-1 last week. Just going by the point spreads, depending on the numbers.
Hey, you got a little bit of somebody must have hit your parlay pick on your preseason pick, huh?
Well, I hope so. There is also that one is my you got hosed moment also.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into some more detail later on in the show. So depending on the numbers you got, 14 out of the 17 games went over last week with an average of 44 points a game.
That's what you like to see in the NFL. They like seeing points, and so the defense is definitely a little bit behind the offenses right now.
Right. So that's a surprise because usually the first week out of the chute,
right,
very low scoring, ugly football, and we didn't get that.
No.
Looking at the totals for week 2, they're much higher. So the books are not wasting any time adjusting their spreads. So,
well, I think that definitely they're going to have, week 2, you're going to see a little bit more of the starters. And, it's going to be interesting to see because usually week 3 is the rehearsal for when you get to see your, first half of your starters. And so with the preseason, it's going to be different this year. So we're going to have to watch it and see how the coaches adjust to keep their players safe.
Right. So, Rich, do you have any predictions for week 2?
Well, I like the Broncos to beat the Bills. And also tonight, I love Green Bay. I think Jordan Love has to show that he's going to have to go to a different team, obviously, because Aaron Rodgers has locked it up, even locked up that he will start and play every game that he wants to. So Jordan Love ain't going to get any love from Aaron Rodgers, I can tell you that. And so he's pretty much auditioning for his new team, I think.
I totally agree. He's not going to be on the Packers when this new contract comes up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he deserves to play. And he looked okay when he played on.
Yeah, he threw a couple interceptions, a couple picks, but he did throw a couple nice touchdowns.
Yeah. Today, as I always do in the preseason, I'm taking New England and over. And that starts in about 10 minutes. So anybody who's on their app right now that's here might want to bet that. Hurry up, because there isn't time to get down to the sports book by the time the show's over.
I bet you're New England on mine. You got hose moment, so I'll be with you on that because Belichick hosed me for sure.
Yes. Patriots are favored by 3. The total is 40. Tomorrow, you mentioned the Pittsburgh quarterback battle. I like Pittsburgh +3 at Jacksonville.
I do too.
That battle, all 3 candidates for the job are going to play.
I also like Carolina. They play tonight. I like them. Yep. With their quarterback situation, so I think that they'll win. I think that they're a 6 points underdog, so it's good to take the points with those guys.
Okay. As far as the Pittsburgh game, Jacksonville's second and third string players didn't look good at all last week against Cleveland. So they might start off okay, Jacksonville, but I see Pittsburgh finishing strong. And finally, Sunday, I'm taking Baltimore -5.5. At Arizona. It's the automatic, right?
Well, you would think that's been 2015 since Baltimore's lost a preseason game, so.
Yes. They now own an NFL record 21 straight preseason victories.
Right.
Against the spread, 18-2-1 in those games.
So
that's a
little inside note. You might want to bet them tomorrow.
I think so. At least money line anyway.
Okay.
Parlay the money line. So now it's time to make some predictions for the upcoming regular season. Which teams are going to win their respective divisions? Big Rich, I think you wanted to start with the AFC West, I believe.
Okay, we have Ronnie coming up here covering for Kendra since she's out with COVID this week. So
good Spindra.
Ronnie's going to go ahead and put his picks up for Spindra. We're going to start with the AFC Kendra the Spindra.
What do we do? AFC West.
AFC West.
Yeah, that's right. Kansas City, LA Chargers, Las Vegas.
Okay.
And,
let's go ahead. Spindra picks. Go ahead and show who you picking. Who you picking, Spindra?
These are Spindra's pick.
The Raiders. Picking the Raiders to win the West. I think any 4 teams could do it. But as you know, I'm going to take the Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos with Russell Wilson. There's Russell Wilson. They can finally get their winning quarterback. And as you know, these picks, we're going to say who wins the division. Even if it's a tie, it will be the tiebreaker. So Joe?
I can't help but take Kansas City. They've won the division 6 straight seasons. Yes, the loss of Tyreek Hill is big, but until I see otherwise, I got to stick with Andy Reid.
You got to stick with the
Patrick
chance.
Mahomes.
Yep.
If I was going to pick somebody else, it would be the Chargers.
Okay.
Because I think they're the way they've improved their defense.
Any 4 teams can win that division for sure.
That's true. So
AFC North, Spindra. Go ahead, and Ronnie.
AFC North, okay.
She picks the Bungles. The Bungles. We won a little bit of money on Jeff on those Bengals last year. That was a good. Yeah, it was a good. They definitely did good. Joe Burrow's back. That looks like a solid pick. And Joe, you're taking.
Oh, it's the Bengals.
The Bengals again. Everybody believes in Tony the Tiger Stripes. They're going to stay with the. And they had a great season. They almost won the Super Bowl. Yeah. But I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens, because I'm thinking right now that we have a quarterback, Lamar Jackson, that has something to prove. And also, they were hurt last year when Cincinnati beat them twice because they were down to their 7th and 8th cornerback. I think they get their defense back in order, and they can shut down Jamar Chase next year.
Harbaugh coaching, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Harbaugh's still the coach.
Yeah, well, Cincinnati came out of absolutely nowhere last year. Nobody picked them to win the division, let alone go all the way to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And there's going to be a couple teams that are going to come out of nowhere again this year
Okay.
and win the division. But I'm not going to be picking any of them.
Okay, so you're taking the favorites.
But I'm taking a lot of favorites because I can't really pick some really long shots. I mean, we could have some sleepers. Maybe next week we will do some sleeper picks.
Okay.
So
We
next
got.
up,
I think this kid just joined the Marines. He got a buzz cut right there. Jeff gave him a nice number 1 all the way across. High fastball. That's what he wants. Easiest cut there is in the world. All right, let's go to the AFC South. AFC South. Go ahead and go, Spindra.
okay.
Okay,
She takes the Colts. Takes the Colts, and that's exactly what Big Rich took too. The Colts. I like Matt Ryan coming there. Jonathan Taylor. I think that they were just a quarterback away from being there last year, and I mean, if they'd won that last game, they would have went to the playoffs. And so,
Well, the Colts have had 5 different quarterbacks start the season, the last 5 seasons.
well, they
So
got Matty
it's-
Ice this year, and I think that I love what they're doing in Indy. I think they get it done this year. Who do you got?
Oh, well, I have to stick with my Titans because
Right.
I'm a big fan of Derrick Henry.
Right.
Yeah, I don't care if
He's
they
healthy
put
this year.
if they put 9 in the box because Tannehill supposedly can't play quarterback, but I'm sticking with them because I
think
like
Willis
their physical
gets a
nature.
chance, too.
Yeah, he
I
might
like that
get a
pick.
chance. So and the other 2 teams are so bad; it's really a 2-team race. Houston
can
and
all-
Jacksonville.
AFC East. Everybody can raise at the same times because I think everybody in America is going to go with this pick. The Bills, and Joe has
Well, that's just
the Bills because
make
I know,
it
Joe,
even-
you're not going to go off the favorite. There ain't
there's no way
there's
I'm going against the Bills.
I mean, they're going to the Super Bowl. I think that's
Super
what
Bowl
everybody's
favorite Buffalo Bills. It'll
Exactly.
be shocking if New England or Miami were to beat them, and those are good teams.
They're actually good teams.
And so that shows you how good Buffalo's supposed to be. Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Yeah, he's a great quarterback, and I think this is their year. They're supposed to get it done.
Yes.
Now we're going to go to the NFC East.
Oh, this
Okay.
this
We're
is
going to go with
brutal.
the Cowboys, of course. I'm sure Joe's going to go with his Cowboys. Who's
well,
picking the Cowboys here? Anybody got we got a Cowboy fan out there? We got a Texas hat on, maybe, She's going to go with Spender takes the Eagles. Oh, Joe.
Your turn.
I'm going with Philly also. I think they got definitely the best team. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. I love the wide receiving core they got, and with Brown out there now, and Jalen Hurts. Definitely, Eagles going to win the East.
Well, here I am wearing my Sunday best.
Wearing your Cowboys with your 5 Super Bowl rings.
My favorite shirt. I'm wearing for the show, and but unfortunately, my team. There is one thing that's got a problem. Here's a good trivia question. When's the last year a team repeated as division champions in the NFC East?
Jeff knows that for sure. Division champion. Who was the last team in the East to go back to back? NFC East. Yeah, NFC East.
And how far back, I guess, would be the question.
12 years.
Got 12 years. He says the Cowboys. I'm gonna go with Washington.
Okay. I can't remember which team it was, but I'm pretty sure it was the Eagles because it was 2003, 2004.
Okay.
Back in the Donovan McNabb days, I'm thinking
Okay.
it was them. So it's been,
20 years,
years since a team has repeated in the NFC East.
So that's why you're taking the Cowboys.
So that eliminates the Cowboys because they
Okay.
won it last year.
Okay, so who you got?
And the Giants and the Redskins are so bad, I'm thinking I have to also go with the Eagles to win the division. And I hate
Okay.
to do it.
You win against your team.
Very
Yep,
painful,
exactly.
but I have to do it. Some things are not explained very easily why these things happen. They just happen, and you just have to go with it. And
Okay,
okay. Who's
the
next?
South, NFC South. Everybody knows this one.
Of
I'm going to
course.
say Tom Terrific and Tom Brady, Tampa Bay.
Okay.
What is Spender going with? She's going to go with, it looks like, the Saints.
No, that's not the South.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
it's the South.
Oh, I thought you said.
NFC, South.
The Patriots, yeah, this is why you're doing baseball. Yeah, you got it right.
If you had the same,
I had it right.
yeah,
You
had
did
it
all right.
The
When the Saints come marching in, she's going to – there's your upset, Joe. She's going –
today and like.
Because
I've got
yeah, we did. We were talking about it.
I've got a couple problems with the Saints.
And so
I just
she picked. No, she didn't.
She picked
Okay.
the Saints.
Yeah, she did.
Right
She
there.
picked the Saints.
anyway.
Who is
So
the coach? Oh, it's the defensive
that's-
coordinator, yeah.
That's one of my problems with the Saints. The head coach is Dennis Allen, who coached the Raiders to 2 horrible seasons, or 1.5 seasons,
Right.
or whatever it was, when he got fired by Al Davis. And that
And the Raiders.
I have no confidence in Dennis Allen, and I'm not fond of Jameis Winston at quarterback either.
Okay.
So I'm going to go.
Tom
go
Brady.
with, yes, the Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Buccaneers.
Tom terrific. It's hard
Yeah.
to go against him.
How can you go against him? He's not going through all this trouble coming out of retirement for nothing. He's going to play well. The other teams, Carolina and Atlanta, are in deep trouble. So we move on to the NFC North. This could create a little controversy. Our producer is a big Bears fan. I don't know how much he likes the Bears this year. The Bears has been crossed off.
What do you got there, Joe? You have the Bears to win. No, he doesn't.
no,
He has
no.
Green Bay.
Of course, I have Green Bay.
He's got a man crush on Aaron Rodgers. Of
I
course.
do. I do.
I mean,
I don't care who the wide receivers are. We could have me, you, and Ronnie out there, and Green Bay would still win that division.
Well, me and Ronnie aren't going to get yelled at like that, so we're not going to go out there. But I'm going to take Minnesota Vikings. I think it's their year. Kirk Cousins and the Purple Bandits get it done this year.
And Spindra picks.
Thank you.
Spindra also picks the Vikings.
All right. There you go.
I'll
And
consider
our
that
last one.
pretty big upset if Minnesota wins that division. But I know a lot of people are high on the Vikings. And Kirk Cousins, I'm not too sure. And our final one is the NFC West.
NFC West.
Yeah, that's
Well,
gonna be
Jeff, I
interesting.
think me and you might have a conflict right here, right? So I'm going to go with, I don't know, what team is this right here? Is this the 49ers here? Is this a 49er pick? I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and get that beer bottle for Jeff there. Can I get that bottle behind you? The beer bottle. Let me open this up for him.
Uh-oh.
There you go. I'm going to give you this. Jeff,
Okay, we're not sure what's going on here.
and a beer, because we're going to bet 12 of those. And I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams. You take that. We have a 12-pack bet on the Rams versus the Niners. So I'll take the Rams.
We got a side wager here. We got
Side wager gets best barber here.
We'll like.
And if he cuts my hair bad, then that might be an issue. If he gives me a bad haircut because the Rams do win. So Spindra is going to go.
Spindra's going with you. Spindra is not here today, but she's picking the Niners also.
Yeah, she's a Northern California girl.
so how is
She's a Dodger fan.
Oh, how do you get that?
how,
And a Raider fan.
how is Trey Lance going to play this year? That's the big question.
That's Trey Lance for sure.
Can he win like Jimmy Garoppolo?
Right.
It's going to be a little different style, a little more running around. Might open up the offense a little
Well,
bit.
Shanahan moved up to get his kid, so let's see how he does. But you're going to go with
But I'm
La La
gonna go with
Land.
the Rams.
Yeah, well, how could you go against the Rams?
I know, and Stafford could easily have a really bad year, but the rest of the team is so solid.
No.
It's going to be tough for me to go against the Rams.
Okay, for our next and final segment for football, we have 5 quarterbacks that are on their final year of their contract, and either they're going to make bank this year or they're going to make tank, and they'll be carrying this clipboard around as a second string. Jeff can give them a haircut because they'll be on TV without a helmet on, so you'll have to be looking good on the sidelines. As you know, if you're playing, you have the helmet on. No one cares how Tom Brady's hair looks. But all right, so Joe, you got those 5? You want to do it with it? Ronnie, you want to do the banker tank with us? Okay.
Well, the first one I got is the lead quarterback right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mitchell Trubisky.
He was on the Bears.
Just call me Mitch because I'm on a new team now.
What was he, a fourth pick of the draft, 5th pick of the draft?
He was the second pick of the draft in
Second pick
2017.
For the Bears.
By the
They moved up to let him go.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be with you. If the Bears say you got to go, I'm going to say he's got to go. He'll be carrying a clipboard next year. I say he tanks. Comeback player of the year. Okay, we have a comeback player of the year. All right.
I was
Love
going to
it.
pick.
He's taking the Steelers comeback player of the year. I love
I was
it.
going to pick Derrick Henry for comeback player of the year.
I think he still was like in the top 10 and he played half the games.
Yeah, I know. It was
So you
pretty
say
amazing.
Trubisky, bank or take there. You got to hope. Bank or take. You got to pick up the prop you want. Bank or tank.
I don't want to do this.
Tank.
Tank.
Tank. He takes tank. He's going
Takes
to
the
say
clipboard.
tank. Give him
Tank.
a clipboard.
Tank.
Okay.
Yeah, you can hand me the clipboard too. Yeah, Kenny Pickett looks like he's going to be quarterback maybe by
Sure.
the end of the year,
Okay.
and Trubisky's going to have to move on.
Well, let's see what happens.
Yeah, but yeah, we got 3 different guys. Maybe Mason Rudolph's the one they're going to trade, because one of those guys isn't going to be on the roster.
Right. And
When
it's
the
going to be
season starts.
Pickett. I guarantee you. Pickett's
Well,
going to be on
Pickett's
there.
going to be on the roster, and
And they already said,
Trubisky.
and,
So,
Trubisky didn't play bad. I think he still keeps his job for a while. Next one.
Okay. Next one up, we've got Daniel Jones. So the Giants.
The Giants quarterback.
Yes, pick 6, round 1, 2019. Record as a starter, 12-25.
Ooh.
I think that's what it says.
I think the
here.
G-men have had it with Daniel Jones. They're going to go to the draft, pick up a quarterback this year. I'm giving him a clipboard. He'll be tanking this year on his way out somewhere else. Rockin' Ronnie?
I agree. Tanking.
He's tanking him.
Oh, yeah. Let's see that clipboard there. Okay, Daniel Jones. Very
Yeah.
possible Tyrod Taylor might be quarterbacking
Right.
the team like soon. Give him about 3 or 4 games, and Jones might be finished.
That's true.
It's a possibility.
Short leash.
Yes.
Just
So
like
far-
at Boo Boo's dog care. They all have
So
short
far,
leash.
we didn't need the piggy bank. Okay. Oh, Baker Mayfield. Okay.
Baker Mayfield, I'm saying he comes out this year. He's going to make bank. He's going to get him. And I say he may have a chance to get Tampa Bay. I almost picked them. I say right now, I'll tell Spindra, we'll put a pie in the face. I'm going to say Tampa. I'm going to say that Carolina has more wins than the Saints.
Ooh,
So I'll even
I like
go
it.
that far how much I'm banking on Baker Mayfield. And I'm saying he banks. He makes it this year. Sam Darnold will get the clipboard for the rest of his career.
I always liked Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I think he's going to bank.
Give him the bank. He's going to make bank.
Okay, I got to go the same way. Ooh, that's heavy. Banker Mayfield. For sure.
So is his wallet if he does good
Yeah,
this
yeah.
year. If he gets
Oh,
them in
yeah.
the playoffs, he's going to get paid for sure.
Yeah, no, he's going to look good. He played hurt last year.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. Just no one likes
He's
him.
very tough.
No one on the team likes him, but he's a great player.
Very first pick of the draft in 2018 out of Oklahoma.
Yep.
And, of course, he was playing for Cleveland. So
Right.
you can't expect a whole lot of success when you're quarterbacking Cleveland, but
We'll
maybe
find
not
out
in
what-
Carolina.
Yeah,
We'll see how that goes. How about Matt Ryan, our
Matty Ice,
our
right?
new quarterback for Indianapolis?
Yeah.
Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Oh, Indy's
I'm
going to
jumping
play
on it with him. I'm
possible
saying he's
Super
going to win the
Bowl. Oh, my
division.
God.
He's going to bank it. He's going to play for another couple years.
Certainly a veteran. 100.
I'll bank. I think he's going to do well. I don't know if they're going to win the division, but I think he's going to. I think he's
Better Carson Wentz for sure.
100.
Jonathan Taylor. Yep.
It's good. Yeah, his record as a
He
starter.
says Matty
in
Ice is
Atlanta.
going to look better than that haircut he's giving this kid right now. So I mean, I'm thinking it's. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yep. I think so. I go with Baker Mayfield on that too.
Okay. His record as a starter, 120 and 102 at Atlanta. So not spectacular, but definitely a winning quarterback. I just personally, I'm not a big Indianapolis Colts fan, but I do like Matt Ryan. So I guess I'm going to take this, but just because I feel sorry for the guy, I like him, but I don't have high hopes for the Colts themselves. I think only one team from that division makes the playoffs. The AFC is going to be very difficult, and I think it's going to be Tennessee. So
Okay.
yeah.
Our last and final one.
Oh, I had 2 more.
Okay.
Carson Wentz, Washington, formerly the Redskins, now Commanders.
And Colts, the only guy wearing a mask on the sideline last year. Remember, he was the only guy in the NFL wearing a mask on the sideline. So I'm going to say I'm not a Carson Wentz fan. I think he was always a Division II quarterback, came out of North Dakota. And I'm going to say give him a clipboard. He's done as a starter.
Yeah,
I agree. I
Right.
totally agree with that.
yeah. I'm going to also agree. It's a clipboard for sure. He was the second pick of the draft, 2016, from North Dakota State. His record as a starter, better than you might think, 26, 16, and 1. Surprising, but nobody seems to like this guy. He's a little full of himself, and I think that's why his teammates don't really like him a whole lot. I don't think so.
All right, well, we'll find out if they like him.
Clipboard.
With the Washington Commanders.
He's not going to like being a backup, but next year he's going to have to be.
Okay.
All right. So, gosh, I guess that was about it. Any other subjects you want to cover there?
No,
or that's
it's just ready to get the football season going. We have how many days till kickoff? 20 days. 20 days until we start Thursday night with the Rams and Buffalo on Thursday Night Football. So 20 days, guys. Get your shirts out. Get your stuff ready to go. Represent the NFL. It's the best thing in town. Also, we're going to have here, we're going to have a $5 membership for a ladder pick. It costs you $5 a week to be a member here, and then the winner will whoever gets the most wins, you will have to pick every game without the spread, and we'll be running that through our website and also through the Capitol Barbershop. So the ladder picks, it's a $5 membership fee, and so we'll go from there, but it's going to be fun.
All right. Well, thank you, Big Rich. I appreciate it. And next up, we're going to get Rockin' Ronnie over here, and we're going to talk some baseball.
Good job, Big Rich. Yeah.
So let's now move on to baseball. And we have Rockin' Ronnie McKinnon ready to talk about Major League Baseball. What were the main stories last week? Let's start with San Diego's Fernando Tatis Jr.
I know. They were still waiting for him to come back from all the injuries, and then all of a sudden he's suspended for 80 games, the remainder of this season, and 33 games at the start of next season. It was a substance that, for ringworm, actually, it's called Clostebol. It's a medication that treats ringworm, but an ingredient in the skin cream is also an effective muscle building anabolic. So
So it's a steroid. It's
a
on the
steroid.
list. You can't take
so
it.
Exactly. And when he was tested, that's what they found out. And so, he's done until 33 games of next year, which they haven't had him most of the year. I don't think it's going to make a big deal, especially with, what they did at the trade deadline. So,
What are the odds he actually had ringworm?
I know. I mean, I haven't heard of that in a long time.
Yeah.
And
It doesn't seem like this was an accident.
no, because it's actually a muscle building anabolic. So I'm sure he knew what he was doing,
Sure.
And now he's done until, into next year.
So on a cheerier note, what did St. Louis's Albert Pujols do?
I know. We talk about him all the time, and, Albert's awesome. He, on Sunday, he hit 2 home runs, 4 RBIs at home against Milwaukee. That was number 689. Also 2,180 RBIs, which is 3rd all-time behind Henry Aaron and Babe Ruth. But then he hit, on Thursday, last night, he hit his first ever pinch hit grand slam. Now, he has 11 career pinch hits, but not a grand slam. And that was actually number 690. And next on the list is going to be, oh yeah, a little closer, right? Next on the list is going to be fourth place, which is Alex Rodriguez, who has 696, but he's 4th all time, and so I'm hoping Pujols passes him and then gets to 700 because he's talking about retiring next year. But he's talked about that before. I think he can still keep going, but so I do too. Yeah, I've always liked Albert, and that's right.
He has not been associated with performance-enhancing drugs, whereas Rodriguez was. I kind of hope he lands on 698 or 699, so he does come back.
So he comes back, yeah. And of course, the top we talked about, 4th and 3rd, and of course then we have well, Barry Bonds with the steroid thing, but then we have Henry Aaron, who never was connected to that, and then Babe Ruth is third. So,
Okay, what happened to Texas manager Chris Woodward?
well, he's looking for a job now, and Texas just didn't do what they were expected to do. They picked up pitcher John Gray, shortstop Corey Seager, who came from the Dodgers. They got second baseman Marcus Simmons. Yeah, and actually, it's Semien is the way it was actually pronounced. So I thought it was Semien myself.
Semien, yeah, that's
right.
the way I
but
always
anyway,
heard it.
so they were expected to do a lot better. They're 53 and 65, 12 games below 500. He's been there 4 years. What happens when you don't do what you're expected to do? In baseball, the manager is the first guy to go, and
4 straight losing seasons.
4 straight losing seasons.
That's all it takes. So,
yeah. 4 straight, and of course, again, they were
patient with him. I mean,
they were expected to do a lot better this year with who they picked up. And
Tony Beasley, the third base coach, is now the head coach.
Correct.
So manager, as they say in baseball.
Well, interim manager, yes,
interim
until they decide if he's permanent or they find somebody else. So.
Well, this one's a pretty interesting story. Pittsburgh hasn't been playing well, but one of its players still made the news. Rodolfo Castro.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was sliding into second base, and his phone popped out of his back pocket onto the field. I mean, he's got his phone with him, and
he wasn't attached to his body or anything. This phone,
right?
He just carrying a phone.
Yeah, it was in his back pocket. Yeah, and it came out when he slid into second base. So, MLB, Major League Baseball, suspended him for a game.
One whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah. One.
Yeah,
and he was
one.
fined
Yeah, one.
an undisclosed amount.
Didn't see what that amount was, but
this technology is getting a little weird. We talked about the TV announcers talking to the players while they're on the field and they're playing.
Right.
Now you got a guy carrying his phone with him.
Well,
running around
they're
and
totally
hitting the
not
ball
even
and
supposed to
running
have him in the dugout. They're supposed to keep him in the locker and all that stuff. And it's it's crazy. When it comes to the what you guys were talking about, and I heard you talk about it before about the guys talking to the sportscasters while the game's going on, and I don't have as much problem as you guys seem to have with it. I mean, they talk to guys when they're in the dugout, but they do talk to them while they're actually out playing. And of course, they have a mic on them where they have to use their hands, and you can tell just when the pitcher's ready to come, the player stops talking and they get ready for the ball. And
well, I would hope so.
Yeah. Well, I get why people would be against it, and
Well, it's an interesting game, baseball. I mean, you can't picture a hockey player or
correct. Well,
anybody else having
it's a different kind of game, and that brings up another
cell
point.
phone.
Just like all the things that happen with the interaction with the players and the fans in baseball, unlike any other sport, and there's a lot of really neat stories, and some of those I'm going to write some articles about and put them on the site. So,
okay. What did St. Louis minor leaguer Chandler Redmond do?
I know. Wow. Here's the deal. Plays for Double-A Springfield Cardinals, and he did the home run cycle, which is the rarest thing in baseball, basically. He hit a solo home run, a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run, and a grand slam all in the same game.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. But what I found out from research is that back on July 27th, 1998, somebody named Tyrone Horner of the Arkansas Travelers, which is also a Double-A in the Texas League, did it.
Yeah.
So
I saw the same story.
Yeah.
So the Cardinals Double-A, that's where you're going to find these guys.
That's right. Well, so far, right? Yeah, but that is really rare. I mean, I've never seen it, and pretty cool.
I was surprised to find out that it had happened before.
And it's never ever happened in Major League Baseball at the top level.
Right.
This is in the minors.
Yes, you don't hear about 4 home runs in a game very often in the majors.
Well, no, you don't, and also to be a solo, a double, a triple, and a grand slam. Yeah.
Not to mention he did it in 4 straight innings, too.
That's right. Yeah. They were scoring some runs that game.
Yes, they did. I think 21 in that game. All right. Yeah. How about the New York Mets' Jacob Degrom last Sunday?
Well, I was going to talk about what he did last Sunday, but, I decided to, just mention Jacob Degrom and Max Scherzer, who haven't been around most of the year, and the Mets are doing great, and now, those two guys are great pitchers, and they're back pitching. Degrom is actually 2-1 with a 2.31 ERA, and Scherzer is 9-2 with a 2.15 ERA. So, those two guys, they seem to do something special every game. Degrom did that on Sunday, and then the other night he pitched well, but ended up taking the loss. So.
Okay. Also on Sunday, Tampa Bay's Drew Rasmussen came close to making history.
I know, like a perfect game, right? He pitched 8 innings of a perfect game, and he himself has a 7-4 record, a 2.80 ERA. He ended up giving up a hit and a run. He struck out 7 guys, no walks, and then they took him out, so he pitched 8 1/3. But he had 8 innings of a perfect game. And there comes my trivia question for today.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, I'm ready.
And that is, who pitched the last perfect game in baseball, in Major League Baseball?
Oh, wow. I was hoping you were going to ask me for the Tampa Bay Rays, because they've never had a perfect game.
That would have been easy, man. Come on.
Well, they have had a no-hitter, though.
I'll give you a gimme right now. Yeah, true. And so, anyway, yeah.
That's a tough one. Perfect game.
And you'll remember the name, I'm sure, too, like a lot of people will.
Can you give me a year? Can you give me a clue?
Well, it was 10 years ago. It was actually, it was
2012.
10 years ago Monday, so it was the day after that Rasmussen pitched 8 innings of a perfect game. So it was 10 years ago.
Wow.
So it was 2012.
Baseball's my worst subject, man. I don't know. You stumped me on that one.
I was trying to find a good one. Felix Hernandez.
Oh, I wouldn't have got that.
Seattle pitcher, right-hand pitcher, did it in 2012. They won the game 1-0. He had 12 strikeouts. It was actually against Tampa Bay. It was on August 15th. So, and I think I brought this up on one of our previous shows. There was 3 perfect games that year in 2012. Felix Hernandez, Matt Cain for the San Francisco Giants, and Philip Humber for the Chicago White Sox.
Humber. Yeah.
Humber, yeah.
I remember now.
I brought him up on a previous show, but I know a lot of people probably don't remember him. But Matt Cain from the Giants.
Sure.
And then Felix Hernandez. So there were 3 perfect games in that one year in 2012. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Right?
The same year the Giants won the World Series?
That was one of the years the Giants won the World Series, and they won the next year and the next year, actually, and have
2000 every even year.
10, 12, and 14. Right, exactly. Odd year, even years. And, I know a lot of Giant fans that were going, we're going to win in 16. They haven't done since.
Yeah, they haven't.
I said, shit. Oh, you take it out. Anyway.
You couldn't help yourself.
That's where we're
You
at.
being a Dodger fan.
Right.
Okay. Let's have our weekly report of New York Yankees slugger Aaron Judge, as he's trying to get to what I consider the real home run record in one season.
That's correct. That's correct. 61 home runs, 1961 from Roger Maris.
Non-PED guys.
From Roger Maris. Anyway, he hit number 46. Now he's been, a few games have gone by. He hasn't hit one. He had 46 and 101 RBIs. That's the second time he's done that. Actually, Babe Ruth did that 9 times where he had over 46 home runs and 100 RBIs in a season. Of course, he needs to get to 61. I think last week when I talked about him, we projected he could get 66. Now it's gone down because he hasn't been him. Now they're projecting 63, which would still be a record. But
he only got a couple last week.
Right, exactly.
So he did slow down his pace just a little bit.
But, there's still plenty of games to go.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd like to see him do it, even though Roger Maris, a great, great in baseball and in history. There were some good movies about him, and another guy never connected to steroids and played with Babe Ruth. Come on.
So what has the Los Angeles Angels' Shohei Ohtani been doing?
I know he does something every week. We talk about him.
I know he's just like Judge every week.
But it's pretty amazing. The guy strikeout totals through 20 starts, 165, and Who's he behind? Especially from an Angel is, of course, Nolan Ryan.
Sure.
Who had 211 after 20 starts and 182. 2 different years he did that. But Ohtani struck out like 35% of the batters he's faced. And he's also the only player to start 20 games as a pitcher and hit 5 triples batting. As we know, he bats DH and he pitches also, and he in the same season. And we've talked about the MVP about
Judge or
about
Ohtani?
Judge and Ohtani, and it's just unique because Ohtani pitches and hits. So maybe we have to do some another column or asterisk or something.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Ohtani, he's having a great year. He's batting .265, 27 home runs, 72 RBIs. He's 10-7 as a pitcher with a .269 ERA. Having a great year. I could argue for either one of them, but we'll see how the rest of it goes.
If he wasn't playing for the Angels, then he might be much more of a favorite to win the MVP because the team is doing poorly, whereas the Yankees are in first place. So
Correct.
I think
that's correct.
That's a factor. It
does. I think it plays in. It shouldn't play in, but
it does. It seems to.
It does. Yeah.
It's. I just noticed it's getting kind of noisy outside. Looks like there they go. The barbecue is firing up.
Right when you hear the door open, you can hear them, and I was like, I was just telling Carla, we put a speaker out there next time, because they're out there hanging with the food, and
well, the beverages are certainly flowing,
and the beverages, obviously, yeah.
That's getting people.
That's right.
Pretty excited, let alone the food. And we do have a couple people who have come in from the barbecue. Thank you for joining us, crowd.
Right on.
And Ronnie, let's take a look at the standings. Which teams are hot and cold? Injuries? Any kind of news?
I don't think there's any major ones. Every team has, a bunch of injuries during the year. There's nothing major going on right now in that way.
Well, let's just take a look at the standings.
Let's look at the standings.
Let's do that.
The AL, the East, the Yankees, they've been having a lot of troubles lately, but they're still got a big lead in that division. Then Tampa Bay, Toronto, Baltimore, and Boston, they're all into the wild card. They're 5 games separate, even Boston in last place now from getting the wild card.
The best division in baseball.
Well,
top to bottom.
Yeah, Boston is like only 1 game below 500, and of course Baltimore, we've talked about before. In the Central, that's going to be a race down to the end. I said at the beginning of the year, the White Sox. Well, right now, Cleveland has a 1 game lead over Minnesota, and then 2.5 over the White Sox. Minnesota and the White Sox both in that wild card race, also real close into that wild card.
Moving on to the West.
The West, we have Houston. They're going to take that division pretty much. Seattle is like right there, 65 and 54. They're 11.5 back, but they are 1 up on the wild card right now. And of course, we still have like 45 to 50 games to go, so we'll see what happens.
That's where the cream rises to the top.
Correct.
That last
That's right.
month.
That's right. Well, that's when it gets kind of good. And this year, we mentioned before, there's actually 3 wild card teams.
Right.
In each league instead of 2, which I'm not a great fan of, but that's what it is.
I want every team to play in the first round. I want everybody to play the same amount of playoff games. So.
Yeah. And so do all the sponsors and all the people, and
that's where the money is.
Yeah, that's where the coin is. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna jet over to the National League, right?
Let's do it.
Right on.
We're gonna start in the East.
And the New York Mets been in first place. Most of the year. They're still in. Atlanta's, pushing. They're 3.5 back, so they've got a shot. Atlanta's got the number 1 wild card spot by 7.5 games right now. Then Philadelphia, who's actually 10 from the lead, but they've got the other wild card spot at this point. Then we'll go to the Central, where that's been a battle, and I had talked about St. Louis taking over a while back, and they did a little bit ago.
With the easier schedule, too.
True, they're 66 and 51. Milwaukee, 3 games back now, and they have they're a game behind a wild card
Did
spot.
the trade of Josh Hader make any difference for Milwaukee? Have they blown any games because they've lost that controversial trade they made.
Well,
where
that
they
you know
traded their
that's
closer.
amazing that they traded him. It also brings up what the Dodgers and Kimbrel having a lot of problems. Those guys though are both in the 4-something ERA, but they're like, they're great save guys and great pitchers. They're having issues, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Kimbrel has actually really been blowing it. Last night he did, the night before last for the Dodgers, did get the save, but he still let guys on base. He's actually the 7th all-time in saves, and actually the leader in guys that are actually still playing now, that are actually playing. And so, he's done a lot of great stuff, and we'll see what happens with him.
Okay.
But anyway, and that's what we were going to talk about is the West. The Dodgers, 81-36.
Amazing record.
45 games above 500. Yeah, and they've lost, 3 of their last 5 after a 12-game winning streak. But San Diego, and the Giants way back for the division, 17 and 22.5. But San Diego, they got a wild card shot, and the Giants are actually only 5.5 from a wild card. And right now they stand at 59-59 at 500 balls. So.
Well, I was counting like 18 teams still alive out of the 30.
That's correct.
So
and next week on our show, I'll talk about those 18 teams and what each one of them has a little issue that they're going to look at and see as they get towards the playoffs. And we'll talk about that next week.
Oh. And do you have any predictions?
I do. I'm going to make a couple picks.
Okay.
I have a couple picks for tomorrow, Saturday's games. I say
Saturday the 20th.
Saturday the 20th, take Tampa Bay and the over 6.5, and that's against Kansas City, and then take San Diego over Washington and over 7.
So you have 4 picks.
4 picks in those 2 games, right? And then I'm going to put some more on the site, and
Make some money, Rockin' Ronnie.
but we'll put those two I'm talking about now, and they'll be on there, Carlos. Yeah.
Okay. So have you been watching the Little League World Series? at all?
Always.
Good.
It started Wednesday. We're going to talk about it more in depth next week. And of course, it's awesome to watch. I mean, I played Little League also, and it's really it's a great event. And they've got all the teams into the bracket, and they've already started, like I say, and then they'll go through the next week and a half.
All right. So I guess I'm the only one who's doing any You Got Host stories.
One more thing.
Oh, you have one more thing?
Yeah, I brought it up last week, horse racing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to make some more picks, probably into September, October, November races. But this Saturday is the Travers Stakes, and that's in Saratoga, New York.
Actually, it's August 27th, so.
That's
the
what
way
I
I
said,
said.
this Saturday.
Well,
I say
that's the
this Saturday?
20th, yeah. Well, no, we
27th.
still have a week, so
What's
we can preview that next week.
Right, no, I'm just saying that is going to come up next Saturday, that race. And I don't know
week
if
from-
I'll pick that race, but that'll be next Saturday, and I just wanted to bring that up. And
Okay.
that I'll be doing some grade 1 races actually we get into September, October, November.
Okay, we're a week away from that. Oh,
Yes, sir, go.
no, I was going to do a You Got Host story. I was wondering if you had one.
I got You Got Host.
Oh,
You got-
here, Big Rich is back with us.
Big Rich,
Yeah,
what is your You Got Host story?
Well, first of all, I'm going to make a pick with Rockin' Ronnie next week. Tuesday, you have Degrom pitching against the Yankees. Parlay that with the Dodgers. Gonsolin's going against Milwaukee. I know he's going against Burns, who's a good pitcher, but Gonsolin just shut out Milwaukee, 8 innings in Milwaukee. Now he's going to pitch in the great thick air in L.A., and I think he's going to have another one.
Yeah,
So I think you parlay Degrom,
Yeah.
and you can get plus money on that.
He had a
That's my
couple
pick.
rough starts after the All-Star break, and now he's back on track. And they split that 4-game series with Milwaukee, 2-2 in Milwaukee, and now they'll be playing him at Dodger Stadium, and that's a good pick.
All right, I like it.
Big Rich, thank you for that.
Okay, You Got a Host.
Oh, yeah?
Well, first of all, Joe, thank you for hosing me. Joe, last week, I wasn't going to bet preseason because I'm always against that. But after hearing Joe say, the Patriots, how can they lose? They're getting plus 2.5. And I'm like, well, if they're going to win by 2.5, they're going to win in outright. So I went with the Patriots last week, and they lost by 2. Belichick didn't call any timeouts, didn't try to win that game in any way.
Nope.
There was like 3 minutes left,
Yep.
And he didn't call any timeouts, and that's why I don't like betting preseason, because they weren't trying to win the game. He was trying to get everybody out without injuries. He was happy what he saw with his backup quarterback, Zappy, which I think looked great. But I did get hosed. I took the Patriots and Belichick, and
You took the money line.
I took the money. I took
Instead
the money
of the
line. Why
points.
wouldn't you? I mean, if the Patriots, it was 2.5. You're supposed to win by 3 if you win. So
Yeah.
I got hosed.
Yes, you did.
All right. Do you got to get hosed?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, I did bet on Jacksonville on a parlay. That preseason game last Friday against Cleveland. Jaguars were leading 13-0. Second quarter, never scored again. Lost 24-13. The worst part is I already had won with New England and over because I took the 2.5 points. I actually went up to 3 right before the game started. And I had Baltimore, of course, the 21-game winning streak. Naturally, Las Vegas would later cover the spread. I threw in 3 easy boxing victories. As it turned out, Jacksonville was my only loser on an 8-teamer. I got hosed.
Yeah, on an 8-teamer. Don't bet those preseason games, Joe. They will always get you, I tell you. But yeah, exactly. The preseason will get you, but it's football season, so let's bet on it. I'm good with that.
All right.
Right on.
Yeah.
And I did take Green Bay tonight.
Yeah, I'm New England and over. I didn't touch the Green Bay game, so
Okay.
we're already halfway through the game. I think.
Right, and
Yeah,
we're
pretty
halfway.
much.
We're over this section on time.
Okay.
We'd like to thank everybody here at the
Yeah.
Capitol Hill, everybody that came here. Good job. Great job.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good haircuts, and they're out there barbecuing right now. We're going to go enjoy some time with some of the
Yeah.
Covering the Field fans and some of these great people.
Some food and beer,
Yeah.
yeah, right?
Well,
Right on, yeah.
I-
Yeah, thanks for having us again, Capital Bar. Awesome.
Yes.
We were here once, it was quite a while ago, and it's really cool. Thank you.
Okay, and I'd also like to again thank my guests, Big Richard Martin and Rockin' Ronnie McKinnon, and all you listeners for tuning into the show, and all our nice guests who are here inside the barbershop, and especially the Capitol Barbershop in Carson City for having us today. Next week, college football begins, and we'll also have predictions on the Travers Stakes, as Rockin' Ronnie said, the horse race, as well as the NFL and baseball. We expect to have the return of Gator Gates, and we look forward to bringing you another episode of Covering the Field.
You've been listening to a Covering the Field sports show. Visit us at coveringthefield.com. Email us your comments, questions, and you got host stories at coveringthefield@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter at coveringfield. Thank you to our junior IT, Caden Martin. Thanks to our assistant to the editorial staff, Boots McCage. We will see you all next time for another episode of Covering the Field.